Are you ready to turn heads? Luxury isn't just worn, it's experienced. Introducing a Layla Cara style and new up-and-coming designer collection where exclusive shoes and bags for men and women meets your feet. How about you take a handbag and wear it in style, where each piece is personally designed by Layla Carroll herself and handcrafted from the finest material in Italy. Leather, smooth like butter, bold, timeless, distinctly you. Step into true elegance and make your mark with a Layla Cara style where confidence meets craftsmanship. Visit a Layla Cara style and experience the luxury of art that you wear.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome to my podcast. I hope you enjoyed the first one. Well, as things continue to keep going, hopefully I will improve on everything as it goes. But anyway, let's get right on into it. I am so grateful that you guys are here. My name is Alayla, and today's topic is never be desperate to get married. You know, as a young girl growing up, watching my grandparents, they was married, but it never dawned on me how they got together until I got older and I start realizing that some marriages are just not meant to be. Then there are some marriages that are really meant to be, and you can tell. You see everything that you wish you had in a spouse, and you wish that spouse would know that they have in you. I don't know what's going on today, though. What is going on with today's time? Today's time is not the same. Today, everything is so backwards and flipped around, and it's like the modern day woman wants to also be the modern day man. I'm just saying. I ain't trying to step on any toes, but I am just saying. What I see today is distasteful. It is not something that I would like to brag about. When I see women with a man and she gets on her knees to propose, and this man, if he says yes, I'm questioning that. I'm trying to figure out what is going on with him that he thinks it's okay for her to get on her knees to propose to him. I saw a video today. In the video, and I'm pretty sure you probably seen it too because it went viral. In the video, the woman gets on her knees. As soon when the video started, I can hear a guy in the background say, "Get up!" And I'm like, I had to play it like 3 more times, but then I realized I think that was her dad that said that to her. Well, she got on her knees, and he just was looking at her like, what is going on? But yet he knew what was going on because he looked over at the lady that was sitting down next to them, and he just walked over to the other lady and grabbed her hand and walked away. And of course, the lady who was on her knees, her dad, got up and just went ballistic. I mean, he was livid. But the thing is that what made his daughter think it was okay in the first place to get on her knees? That's actually the number one question here. Why is that a thing? Women, ladies, do you really want to be married that badly that you will literally get a ring, go ring shopping for a man on top of that, and pick out a ring and be like, yeah, I want that one right there. Oh, he'll love that. Oh, yeah, that's nice right there. I'm going to get this one right here for him. Ooh, let me go ahead and plan put together how I'm going to put together this proposal. I'm going to have my family involved. I'm going to have my friends there. I'm going to have some of his family and friends there. And I just know he going to say yes. At first, when I first saw that video, I thought to myself, he's walking away. Maybe at the first snippet of it, before he grabbed the lady's hand that was sitting down, that split moment, I was thinking to myself, maybe he feel that she's out of place and he don't want her to do it that way. But when he grabbed that woman's hand, it just took everything out of the everything everything I was thinking went completely out of me. And I said to myself, I don't know if she deserved that or if she just didn't see it coming, because either way it goes, that should have never happened. But because it happened that way, that guy embarrassed her. And not only that he embarrassed her, she embarrassed herself. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. You know, I hear a lot of women, they say these days that we're old-fashioned. We should change the way we do things, and no one wants to do things the way our grandparents did them. And then they make excuses. The reason why our grandparents stayed together is because they didn't have a choice, or because they wasn't able to take care of themselves, or they had a whole lot of babies and they needed the man there to help them with the kids. Either way it goes, things are out of order. It's just what it is. The whole world is just completely turned upside down. But if you look at the way women are today, we are desperate to get married. I even question the fact that, are we desperate to be a wife and to have a husband and to have a home that we could raise our family in, and to be a mother that will have a dad in the home? Or are we just desperate to have a wedding, to have the glitz and glam that comes with getting married? Because when you see people, they have these lavish weddings and spend thousands of dollars, and I mean thousands of dollars, on these weddings, and only stay married for 2 days. And then they're in divorce court filing for divorce. And it's like, okay, what just happened? Didn't they just get married yesterday? Why are they getting a divorce today? And then you got some couples who have been together as boyfriend and girlfriend, shacking up, living in the house together for 12, 13, 14, some even 20 years. And then they finally get married, and then they divorce within 2 hours. And you're like, really? I mean, I know I'm over exaggerating, but it feels like that when you really look at it. If a person can stay together, a couple can stay together as boyfriend and girlfriend for years on in and years on out, but then as soon as they get married, they don't last. So the question is, what changed? What is different between the courtship part and the married part? What's completely different in that? My theory, let me tell you my theory, and I can be wrong, but hey, this is what my show is about. It's about me giving my theories and my stories, and also my experience as well as my testimony. So anyways, my theory is, when a man and a woman get together as courtship, they're dating, they're together. And the beginning of a relationship is brand new. You don't know the person, they don't know you, you're getting to know each other. That's the beginning part. It's fun. It's supposed to be fun because you don't have anything to worry about as far as anything that happened in the past. You don't have any history with each other yet. So there's no reason to have any anger or animosity towards each other or any of those things. So everything is brand new. The fun, the dating is absolutely fun. You look forward to seeing each other. You have a good time when you are together. You can't wait to see each other again. You just enjoying every moment that y'all have together. And then here comes the sex. When sex is involved, sex can change, and it will change the dynamics of your relationship. I don't care how you put it or downplay it. It will change the dynamics of your relationship completely. It will have your mind twisted and turned to a place that you weren't at before. And what I mean by that is when you're courting each other and you haven't had sex yet, everything is fresh and new, and you're looking forward to being with each other. You can't wait to be in each other's arms. You're really at bliss with each other. Then you have sex. Now the feelings are stronger and they are evolving. But are they evolving in the right direction? Are they going in the right direction? That is the answer that that is the question you have to ask yourself. When you get into a relationship with somebody and you decide to give yourself, women, to a man, now you open yourself up to him. And what you did was you invited spirits inside of you, which is going to change your whole thought process on this man. It's either going to make you get possessive or desperate, or it'll have you feeling bad about, giving yourself to him, or it's going to make you feel obligated that you have to continue to keep giving yourself to him. Or you're going to feel that, hey, it's no big deal. I'm just having fun. Hey, I'm grown. We adults. This is what we want to do. We are both consensual. We're having consensual sex. That's just the way it is. But then time passes and you had goals set for yourself that you wanted to be a wife. And you're wondering why this man haven't proposed to you yet. And you're wondering if he ever going to do it because this is something that you want. There was one key element that you left out before you started having sex with this man. You didn't find out if he really wanted to be a husband. And if you have found that out, there's another key element that you left out, is that you haven't found out if he wants to be a husband to you. Should I say that again? There's another key element that you left out in the beginning before you start having sex with him. You did not find out if he wanted to be a husband to you. Now, desperation sets in because time has passed. You've been together for quite a while, some years now, and you're trying to figure out if he's ever going to propose to you. And you're wondering if it's going to happen, but you're not sure if that's what he's going to do. The worst part in a situation like that is when you're with a man who is telling you that he's going to marry you, but in his heart, he knows he's not. And what makes it even worse if that man goes out and buy a ring and propose to you, knowing that he seriously is not going to be monogamous with you, only you, or that he's really not going to marry you. And if he does marry you, he's not going to be faithful to you in the marriage. That is the worst of them all. That's why desperation is dangerous. If you are seeking to get married, and this is not only for a woman, this is also for a man. There are some men out there that want to get married just as badly as a woman do. And he can't wait to be a husband. And he feels that he wants to be able to have children and do all those things. There's nothing wrong with that, but he needs to know that he's marrying the right woman. Women could be treacherous, and I know it. I know it offhand because I have seen it. I have witnessed it. I witnessed it even with my brother and his wife and how treacherous she was with him. I'm not going to bash her or anything like that, but I know what I saw. And I know what she's done. And I know what she tried to involve me in. And I was just like, no, I'm not having that. But the problem is in this situation is that they did not belong together and they married each other out of desperation, not really wanting to be separate. Now, what I mean by that is, I know my brother, when he talked to me about having a child, when we was younger, growing up, as well as in our 20s, my brother had a timeline. And he said by the time he turned 35, he was going to be married and he was going to have kids. He turned 35. He was not married yet and he had not had kids. So by the time he was 36, he was talking about having a child and having a kid. And here I am like, the woman that you with, y'all don't need to be getting married. Y'all fight too much. I mean, y'all fight a lot to a point to where this fighting has been illegal. You're going to jail. You be going to jail behind this stuff, the stuff that y'all do. So
we'll be back after a quick break.
If you haven't already, check out my luxury shoe and bag collection, a Layla Cara style. Each piece is personally designed by me and handcrafted from genuine Italian leather. Whether you're dressing up or keeping it casual, these pieces were made to help you walk with confidence. Because real style starts from how you feel. Go to alaylacarolstyle.com and experience these bold, timeless, and completely all you. Check it out. You might find something you like.
of course, grown people gonna be grown. They're gonna do what they want to do. My brother went on and had a child by her, had a kid by her and everything, and got married. And that whole marriage was pure hell. I mean, they went through so much hell in their marriage to where I started thinking about my own marriage. I was married and I was going through emotional and verbal and financial and spiritual abuse from my husband at that particular time. The physical abuse didn't start until later, but that's how it was. And I was saying to myself, this situation is not right. How did I get into this situation? Well, I told you I'm transparent, so I'm going to tell you how I got into this situation. I was once one of those desperate women who wanted to get married, and I felt that my time clock was ticking because I hadn't had any kids at that time. And I was thinking that, okay, if I don't get married, I don't know what's going to happen. You know, I was one of those women. But I started withdrawing on wanting to have kids with my husband because of how abusive he was to me. And I was not ready to be a mother as far as carrying his child. But the point that I'm making here is that desperation will make you do stupid things, and it will put you in a bad situation and have you in a bad place. And it's hard to get out of it. And when you wake up one day, you'll figure out that you made the most dangerous mistake that you can ever make. And if you would have just been patient enough to wait on the right timing with the right person, then things could have been a whole lot better for you. That's the reason why I'm speaking on this, because when I saw that video of that lady on her knees proposing to her boyfriend, one of the things I also thought about was it's actually good that he did not accept her proposal, because she was in for probably hell up the road. Going through hell up the road with him. Apparently that already shown he was already cheating on her to even be able to get with another woman and to grab her by her hand. And the way that lady was looking up at him the one that was sitting down next to the girlfriend who was proposing, the way she was looking up at him like, you better not accept her proposal. It was like, ooh. I said to myself, this is some backward stuff. We are living in backwards time. The time that we living in today, people are doing things all backwards and just completely wrong. You know, I am a spiritual person. I do believe in the Holy Bible. I believe in God's word. And although I have not been living my life completely 100% by his word, I have done the best that I can. And I do ask for forgiveness during the times that I know I have made mistakes. But one of these things that I have always lived by in the scripture is, and this is something that I always felt like anyone should live by, and that's Proverbs chapter 18, verse 22. I hear a lot of people quote this scripture, and the thing that I say to myself is, they're quoting the scripture, but do they really understand what that scripture is actually saying? And no, it is not ancient time, because God is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. That means nothing changes with him. So in Proverbs chapter 18, verse 22, it says, the man who finds a wife finds a treasure, and he receives favor from the Lord. What that is saying is, it is for the man to go find his bride, not for the bride to go find her groom. The man is supposed to go out and have his head on the swivel, looking back and forth, to and from, under and over, for his bride. Because his bride is his wife. She's a treasure. She is rare. She is hard to find. She will not be that easy to come upon. She will not be that easy for anyone to find her. Not one person. He has to search for her. And when he finds her, he will receive favor from the Lord. The reason for him to receive favor is because he sought her, he looked for her diligently. He did not stop. He was persistent. He did not deviate. He was looking for her. He knew that she was a treasure. She was meant for him and only him. And God smiles upon that, because he knows that that man is going to give himself unto her and unto her only. He is not going to go out and have sex with another woman and be trying to be with everybody and their mama or their daddy, because there are also men who have sex with other men while they're married to a woman. He's not going to go out and do those things. So God will give him favor. He will grant him favor. And when he grants him favor, he's not only granting him favor, he's granting her favor too, which is his wife. She also gets favor, because now the two becomes one, and what he has, she have. Also, what she has, he have. And when they have children, because what God wants from a marriage is children. He wants godly children. He don't want just any kind of kids. He wants godly children. So if this man is doing everything right to find his bride, to find his wife, then he's going to go out and make sure that his home is in order. He got a place for her to live. He has a job. He's working. He's able to provide for her. And not only that, he's going to make sure that the children has whatever they need as far as food and clothes and anything that's dealing with them being able to be raised right. They're going to have all those things as well. And God is going to give him favor, and he's going to smile upon them and make sure that his family is well taken care of. But here we are in today's time where a woman thinks that she can do the same exact thing that a man can do because she is capable of doing it. Okay, that is fine and dandy, and that's great because we are all made in God's image, which is male and female. We are made in his image. So yes, we're capable of doing whatever another man is able to do. Us, and I'm talking about women, we are able to do what other men can do too, but it doesn't mean that we have to do it. That don't mean that we are supposed to be doing it. If a situation occurred to where it's just you alone, yes, do what you got to do to take care of whatever you got to take care of. If there's no man there to be able to provide and to be a husband to you, then yes, you do what you got to do until that man comes along and now he's able to pick up the slack. The thing is that we are able to say we want a man, but when it comes down to getting that man, we're not allowing that man to be a man. That's the problem when it comes to being desperate to get married, because marriage is a sacred thing. God was the first one to perform a marriage. It comes from God. That's where marriage comes from. And we don't realize that when we do things out of order, it throws everything off whack. And when things are off whack, nothing is going to operate normal. It's going to always be some deficiency for whatever it is that's happening. It's going to always be something that's malfunctioning. Something is going to be wrong. Something's going to be off. It's going to be that way because we're not operating in order. If you look at also in the scripture, it says that there's God, there's Christ, man, woman, children, in that order. So you can't have God, Christ, woman, man, children, or God, Christ, woman, children, man, or God, Christ, children, woman, man. That's not how that works. And if you have that situation going on in your life, then look around for the deficiency that's happening that is off. And you will understand why that deficiency is off, because of the fact that things are not in order. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like that I'm perfect and I got everything going on, because I don't. And the thing is that I had a lot of trial and error that I had to go through to learn. I'm going to give you a testimony of myself. One of the things I can remember, actually not even one, it's been several times that I have done this. I have been in a relationship with a guy where I was taking care of the household, paying the bills. He was even driving my car, dropping me off at work, picking me up. Sometimes, not sometimes, but most of the time late coming to get me. And I'm saying to myself, what's wrong with me that I'm allowing this dude to do this? But I didn't say that to myself during that time. I was saying it when I was fed up and I was done. Once I was done, I realized that I need to make some changes with myself to where that situation wouldn't happen to me again. The last time that situation happened, I was married to my ex-husband. And when we got married, he had a job. He was working. But I don't know what made him think that it was okay to quit his job and not want to work anymore. He chose not to work anymore. One of the things about us women, we don't want to be by ourselves doing bad. We desperately don't want to be with somebody else doing bad. But I have this way about me that I don't want to go under. If you going under, I don't want to go under with you. So I'm going to try to keep myself up above water. And even though we're together, you're going to be above water too, because I'm keeping myself up above water. And it's sad because it shouldn't have to be that way. And I believe that's what my ex-husband was banking on. Well, she gonna need a place to live, so she ain't gonna go without paying bills. She gonna pay this rent. She gonna pay this light bill because she don't want to be in the dark. Because if I'm in the dark, she in the dark too. She gonna buy some food, so I'm pretty sure she's gonna cook because she loved to cook. So I'm pretty sure she's gonna cook. So I get to eat the food that she cooks. So hey, why not just sit back and relax while she do everything? And because that situation was happening, I allowed that to go down. And being a wife, and at the time when we got married, I should have waited and looked deep into that relationship good and well enough to know where it was going down the road. But because I was desperate to get married, I accepted whatever that was going on at that time, which created the monster that I was married to. And I'm not talking about I created him to be the abuser. He was already that. It just came out like so horribly after we got married. That was already in him. He just released it after we got married. Like, okay, now I got her and I got my claws into her. I can be any kind of way I want to be. So with that being said, I realized I needed to make some changes. So what did I do? I started testing him to see just how far he would go. And what I did was, so my profession, my job, I'm a flight attendant. So when I'm out, I'm at the hotel when I'm working, I decided to not pay the light bill for 3 months. Matter of fact, I said I'm not going to pay the light bill. Let's see what happens when I'm not here and he's in the dark. I want to see if he's going to pay a bill because I know he got money. I don't know where he's getting his money from, but I know I seen him and I come home sometime and he bought me a dress or whatever. And that's another thing. He will only spend his money on what he wanted to spend his money on. He didn't want to pay bills and he wasn't trying to pay bills. His thing was, I'm going to buy whatever I want to buy you. And I'll talk about the dress thing later. Oh, yes, I'll talk about the dress thing later. So he would end up buying me some dresses and stuff like that. And I'm saying to myself like, so we got a light bill due and you decide to go out and buy me some dresses. And then I'm looking at these dresses and I'm like, oh, these are not the kind of dresses that I will wear. But I know that if I didn't act like I liked them, we was going to argue and he was going to start tripping and talking about I don't appreciate nothing and stuff like that. So I decided to just say, you know what, just go ahead and wear the dresses and let it, hopefully it'll make him happy enough to where he wouldn't be tripping with me so much. Anyways, after not paying the light bill, I end up coming to work and being in the hotel and I got a phone call from him saying, oh, the lights is off. And I was like, okay, well, what you gonna do about it? And he was telling me, you didn't pay the light bill? No, because we had an agreement that you was gonna pay the light bill, the water bill, the internet bill, and all the other overhead expenses, and I was gonna pay the rent. And I don't get why you haven't paid anything. And I don't get why you think I'm supposed to cover that because I don't want to be in the dark. No, I don't want to be in the dark, but it doesn't mean that I need to take care of everything and you keep spending your money on things that doesn't matter. Now, here it is, the month of June, and it's hot like crazy in Houston. And we all know what Houston weather is like in the summertime. For those of us who have been in Houston during the summer, the weather and the temperature is hell. That's the temperature in Houston is hell. It's hot. And I said to myself, if I get back home and them lights are still off, I'm going to have to start making some changes. But when I got back home, the lights was on. And I said to myself, he is well capable of taking care of things when he needs to. So I need to put more pressure on him to get him to pay more bills. So that's exactly what I started doing. I started not paying certain bills just so he could be pressured into paying. It worked most of the time. And then there was some times that it didn't work. And I was like, okay. I started punishing myself because I felt like by me being so desperate to get married that I deserved it. That's how I was feeling. I remember one night I was at home and I got on my computer, and he had been on my laptop prior to me. I don't know what happened to his laptop or anything, but he was on it. And while he was on the laptop, he had been on these dating sites and stuff like that. And I remember seeing one of the conversation that he had with one of the ladies that's on the dating site. And I screenshot everything. I took pictures of it with my phone, every conversation that he had, because I wanted to make sure he knew that I knew what he was saying to her. And he was denying that he was married. He was sitting there talking about having a kid with this woman. He was talking about he wanted affection and how affectionate he is, which that's a lie. And he was talking about, basically he was baiting her in to be with him and can they meet up? And I'm saying to myself, do he think, because she didn't live in Texas at all. And I was like, okay, do he think that he's going to use my flight benefits to be able to go see this girl? That is not going to happen. So I made sure he wasn't able to book any flights. He wasn't able to book himself on any flights. If any flight for him was going to get booked, it was going to be from me doing the booking. And he came to me one day talking about basically trying to be all nice and friendly and stuff. And I knew something was up, but I just tried my best to not say nothing, but I couldn't keep it to myself. So I just basically just let him have it. I showed him the text messages, all the messages, the pictures, the naked pictures that she sent to him and all these things like that. And I'm like, dude, this was my last straw with him, was when I saw that. And I remember that night, there was a park across the street from where we lived. Yes, it was dark, but the feeling that I had and how painful that it hurt me to see all this and how he had been with me and the things he was saying to that girl and all these things. I went to the park. I walked across the street to the park. It was well lit. I wasn't pitch black over there, but it was well lit for me to be over there. And I sat at a park bench and I bawled my eyes out. And I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and I asked God to fix my mistake. Cause I literally cried and I was like, Father, forgive me. I should not have been so desperate to get married, and I was desperate, and this is the outcome that happened because of my desperation. I knew better. I should have listened when you was giving me all the signs before I got married, and I ignored every sign that you gave me about this man. I still married him anyway. Oh Lord, please forgive me. And I went through all this at that park. And then I remember asking God, get me out of this marriage. I want out. I don't want to just go and just file for divorce, but I know that in the scripture, the ground for divorce is adultery, but also abuse. And I had plenty of reason to leave him, but I knew that it wasn't going to be easy and he wasn't going to let me go that easily. So I cried out and I asked God to help me get out of that marriage. You know, I kid you not. I'll say probably 2 months. Okay, that was June. So here's July. Actually, not even 2 months. It was a few weeks because I remember the day, July 15th, 2020, was the day that I kicked him out the house. That was the time that he put his hands on me. We argued over something so stupid and so small that made no sense to me. And it was horrible. It was horrible how it even started. Here we are. I'm getting dressed. We're going to go shopping. And that's one of his favorite things to do was to go shopping. It was one of my favorite things to do too. But he wanted to go shopping. And I had on a dress that was showing cleavage. I have worn this dress several times before, and he had no problems with me wearing the dress. But there has been plenty times when he would tell me to wear something sexy for him for the day because he wants to, I guess, feel like whatever he wanted to feel like or whatever. And then there was times when he gets upset and be like, no, I don't want you wearing nothing sexy. You need to cover it completely up. And it was almost like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It was just totally two different people. And one of the things was when we was getting ready to go, he looked at me and he said, are you wearing that? And I say, yeah. It was a long maxi dress that came down to my ankles, but it was a spaghetti strap and it has cleavage showing. And he was like, I don't want you wearing that. And I asked, why not? And he was like, who you getting all sexy for? And I was like, you. And he was like, no, you're not. I'm like, yes, I am. And he just literally just blew up and started fussing at me, arguing at me, and just going through a temper tantrum. I mean, having a temper tantrum, like a big baby. And I'm like, okay, well, if you don't really want me wearing this, okay, I can just change. It ain't that big of a deal. But that wasn't the problem. The problem that he had was not because of the fact of what I had on. That was just the trigger. His problem was at that particular time, I was trying to get my brother's son, who was in the CPS, Child Protective Service, the foster home, the foster care. I had gotten him out of the foster care and brought him to our home to live with us. And he did not want who is now my son, but at the time my nephew, he did not want him there. And his emotion was getting to him to where he finally let it out that day. And when he let it out, he basically just took it out all over me. Good thing my son wasn't there. He was at my mom's house at that time, so I didn't have to worry about him witnessing any of this happening. But that was the day that he put his hands on me. He hit me in my face. He threw some keys at me and bust my lips. And he threw hot coffee on me. And that was the day that I said, we're done. No more. It's over. This is it. You will never get this chance to do this to me again. And what gave me the strength to be that way was that God had already showed me a dream prior to that I was no longer with him. And I did not know why I was having that dream at the particular time. But when he put his hands on me, that dream was a reminder. It came back to me as a reminder of showing me, hey, this is your out. Use it. This is the way you can get rid of him. Use it. And at that time, I had cameras in my home, so everything was caught on video. And he could not act like he didn't hit me. He couldn't make up no excuses, no lie. It was shown. So what I did to hold myself accountable, I decided to show the video to some of his family members so that way he couldn't go run into them to tell them that I'm lying. Because when he was around his family, he acted one way. That's one thing about an abuser. They act like they are the best at everything and people like them. But they're a monster inside their home to their spouse and their kids. And with him, I just knew that he was going to go and lie and say he did not hit me, that I made it up. So yes, I took that video from my home camera and I had downloaded it and I showed it to whomever I needed to show it to. So that way he could not lie. And then I made sure that he knew that I was going to go to the police with that video, that he needed to get the hell out of my house. And that was pretty much the end of our marriage. But of course, I went through more things afterwards trying to get the divorce because he did not want to sign the papers. But I'll talk about that another time in another episode. But what I'm trying to make a point here when I'm telling you my story is that I was desperate when I first married him. I wanted to be a wife. I didn't want to just be a girlfriend. I did not propose to him. He proposed to me. But when he proposed, I knew at that time that we should not have been getting married due to our past history of our relationship, of what we had been going through. We was already going through problems. Why marry into the problem? But yet I still married into the problem. And this is my point. Don't be desperate to get married. Stop proposing to these men. Men, I will tell you to not even accept a proposal from a woman. But there are some men out here that have been proposed to by their wives and they're still married and been happy and all that, because sometimes that man, she might have felt that man needed a little push because he was moving too slow and wasn't going to do it. But when you really look at the statistics of things, when a woman is really proposing to a man, it's not because that man is moving too slow. She's just ready to get married because she's tired of waiting for a husband and she wants it now by any means necessary. And usually that's what happened. Any means necessary end up happening. And then she's mad at the world because she made a bad decision and made a bad choice. And you're not looking at the picture. Look at the picture clearly. How did it happen? Why did it happen? And where it started from? It started with you being desperate. Look inside yourself, deeply inside yourself, and ask yourself, what is wrong with you to make you feel that you have to get married right away or right now, or that you want the marriage? Do you honestly want the marriage, or do you just want the wedding? Yeah, a lot of us want the wedding. We want the flowers, we want the dress, especially the dress. We want the cake, we want the ceremony, we want the party, we want the pictures, we want the video, we want to post the videos, we want to post the pictures. We want our family and friends to look at our ring. We want to say, look at me now. Yes, I'm married. We want to do all those things, but we don't realize that the wedding is only a snippet of your marriage. Actually, it's not even a snippet. The wedding is just the icing on the cake. You can do with it and you can do without it. Either way it go, it doesn't matter. Because the marriage is where the heart is at. When you're married, now you're literally in the thick of things, and you have to do whatever it takes to keep that marriage together. And I hear a lot of people say marriage is work, for those who have been married, for those who are married, and even those who have never been married. They say it because they hear other people say it, or they think they know by watching what other people go through and say, oh, marriage is work. I remember I listened to this man one day, it was some years back, and he said, marriage should never be work. I go to work and I get paid and I do a job. But what do you mean that marriage is work? I hear people say marriage is work. It just makes no sense to me. How is marriage work? That's just, you should never have to work at a marriage. And I listened to him talk, and at that time, I had already been married to my first husband, and I was like, you know what? you haven't been married before, have you? And he said, no. I said, well, I don't need to say much of anything to you, because once you get married, then you'll understand why marriages work. It takes two people with two different lifestyles, two different upbringing, and hopefully they have the same beliefs, because being unequally yoked is really going to take a lot of work, and it's hard when you're not on the same wave length or wave pattern when it comes to your belief and everything. And I can testify about that too, because my dad is Muslim and my mom at the time she was married to my dad was Christian. And I say at the time because now she says she's no longer Christian, she's an Israelite. But what I'm trying to say is that my dad don't believe Christ is the Son of God. He believed Christ is just a prophet. And then my mom, she does believe that Christ is the Son of God. So think about having two different beliefs in the home, in the household, and they're married. How did that go? You can just imagine how that went. But that's another story for another day. Other than that, I'm going to leave you guys with this. Women, it's okay to want to be married. Marriage is a beautiful thing. It is gorgeous when you are with the right person. When you have a husband that loves you dearly, he treats you as the queen that you are, and he's respectful, and he's taking care of his part as being a man. He's working, he's paying bills, and I say paying bills because it takes the stress off you when you have unexpected things that come up. You know that you're able to handle those unexpected things because your husband has been taking care of the main things, and he's been doing it consistently. That is a beautiful thing. Also, you got a partner that you can have fun with, you can go out with, go dancing with, go eat. You can also go travel, vacay with. Hey, that's one of me and my husband's favorite thing that we do right now. And that binge watching, having someone to binge watch movies or TV shows with, series, that is fun. That is great. It is a beautiful thing. And then you also have someone when times get hard, when things get tough, you have a partner. And I said partner. I can say partner, but I'm talking about a partner. That person, that man who holds you down, who is ready to go through it with you, and he's not going to abandon you or make you feel that you caused that problem or any of those things. Marriage is a beautiful thing. So I understand why you will want to be married and married right away, but don't be desperate for it, because when you're desperate, you will end up with the wrong type of man. Keep in mind this: Satan knows exactly what you want, especially if you are praying for it in your native tongue. But if you're praying for it through the Holy Spirit in tongues, he cannot interpret what you're praying for. But if you're praying straight up out of your native tongue, he knows what you're asking God for. And he will give you that in disguise. He will send it in a pretty package to you, making it look like it came from God, and say to you, here you go, I'm giving you your Boaz. But then you realize as time go on, you did not get a Boaz. What you got was a chocolate coated rock. It's chocolate on the outside, sweet, but when you bite into it, it break all your teeth out your mouth because it is hard and it is not edible. That is the reason why you can't be desperate, because when you're desperate, you'll find yourself in that situation. Now, for my man, for my fellas, when you find your bride, you find your wife, you know she's your wife, make sure you have your stuff together. Make sure that you are ready for her financially, as well as having a place to live. I don't know how many times a man have moved into a woman's place, into her home that she bought or she's paying for or renting or whatever, and then he tries to control the situation, and then she put her foot down on his neck and say, this is my house, you can get out. That's what you don't want to be in. You don't want to be in that situation. You don't want to have that woman to have that kind of power over you. Even though she might seem to be so sweet and nice and kind that she won't be like that, but let push come to shove to where you're not doing what she's expecting you as a man to do. Or let's say you are doing what she's expecting you as a man to do, but you're still living in her house, in her home or her apartment or whatever is still under her name. The thing is that when she no longer wants you there, guess where you gotta go? You got to get up out of her house. You can go wherever you want to go, but you got to get out of there. That's what you don't want. Gain your respect from her by having your own. Have your own place. Now, this is one of the things I'm going to definitely teach my son. Don't rely on a woman to take care of you. Don't look at her as a mom or a mother figure, because she's not your mother. She is not to take the place of your mother. She's your wife. And wife do wifely things. You don't lay down and have sex with your mama, do you? So that's what sets her apart from your mother. So if you have a woman who is like a nurturer and she's like a mother figure or whatever, I ain't talking about a mother figure like to you, but I'm talking about she has it in her maternal. She has it in her. That maternal is for her kids. That is reserved for her kids, not you. You are her husband, and she is supposed to look to you to be her head and to be her Boaz, to take care of things, not for her to do everything for you. Yes, she's supposed to do her wifely things. Now, what are wifely things? A lot of times people get it all screwed up and they think that, oh, she's a wife, she's supposed to cook. She's supposed to clean. She's supposed to take care of the home. She's supposed to give me sex. Okay, if that is your definition of wifely things, then something is wrong with you, because that's not it. If you don't know how to cook, you better learn how to cook, because there's going to be times when she's not going to be able to cook. She might be working. She might be sick. Or she just might not be there at all. She might be out of town somewhere. You need to learn how to cook, especially if y'all have children. Stop feeding them kids all that fast food, because fast food is unhealthy to feed your children every day. So you want to make sure you know how to cook a nutrition meal. You need some vegetables. You need some greens in their life, some greens. If you want to turn some colors, then get some carrots. And corn is not really that healthy. It's a lot of starch. But you want to make sure that you are giving your children the proper nutrition. You want to give them some great protein. You want to make sure they get that fiber. Now, fiber is one of the things we don't get that much in our diet, even as adults. You need to make sure they're getting some of them beans. A lot of kids don't like beans, but you can make them like them. It's easy to get a kid to like some beans. It's just a certain way you got to prepare it. But what I'm trying to say here is that that woman is not going to be able to do everything that you think she's supposed to do consistently. So your wife keeping the house clean, you need to learn how to clean up too. You should be able to clean just as well as she clean up. Y'all should clean together. Honestly, I'm going to give you something on this here. When you clean up your house and your wife come home and she don't have to clean, she is ready to be all yours. What do you need from me, honey? What you need from me? Because I'm going to give you the business. Thank you for cleaning up the house. That turns me on. It might sound like it's silly, but it's the truth. I have heard a lot of women say that when I come home and he washed the dishes or he vacuumed the floor or he washed the clothes, man, I be ready to give him some, because you took a load off of her to where she's not so tired and exhausted by the time you're ready to get yours from her. So your wife is your partner. What you do, she can do. What she can do, you can do. Do you get it? Y'all both can share the load. So I hope that this was helpful. I do, but somebody gonna get the message. It might just be one person that get this message, but if that one person get this message, then I have done my job. And I am going to sign out right now. I am signing out. Layla, the queen. Are you feeling overwhelmed and exhausted by stress? Introducing Stress Management with Imaging Coaching, your ticket to a calmer, more balanced life. In this journey you will be taking with us here at Imaging Coaching, we'll equip you with powerful techniques and tools you can use to conquer stress, regain control, and transform your life. From deep breathing exercises to mindfulness practices, you'll discover the tools to relax your mind and body. Come join us on this transformative path and unlock a world of inner peace and resilience. Don't let stress hold you back any longer. Take charge of your well-being today with Imaging Coaching, your stress management team. Discover clarity. Defeat stress through Imaging Coaching at imagingcoaching.com, at imagingcoaching.com, at imagingcoaching.com, at imagingcoaching.com.